Ta Satt, greetings to you, Highlight. How nice to see you. If you don't know me yet, let me introduce myself. I am Bella Isis, a Pleiadian in a human body. For over 30 years I have lived a blinded existence as a human, with no background knowledge of my true origins. All these years I felt abandoned, forgotten, left alone and misunderstood here on earth. I wasn't myself in the truest sense of the word, because I had forgotten myself. Yes, I was even searching for myself, and my journey took me through magical events, which I have now summarized in 3 books. I have linked them for you below. I was always restless, searching for something, but I couldn't find it. Although I had always been spiritual and believed in various magical beings, I had never had direct access to them. But in my heart, I always knew or hoped that a magical event would happen to me. I hoped to see an elf or meet a ghost. And I have to tell you that these 2 heartfelt wishes have been fulfilled several times. My hopes and wishes have come true even more intensely and magically than I had ever allowed myself to dream of since childhood. For I already live with and among magical figures and beings. Sometimes I live a life that could have come out of a film. As if human visitors, numerous beings come and go. These magical beings are my friends, my soulmates, or even my family. I am in contact with numerous extraterrestrial civilizations that are absolutely peace-loving. But it is not only aliens that come and go in my house. There are also so-called gods that can be found in ancient descriptions. I receive visits from beings that are otherwise only known from legends or fairy tales. But they are real, just like you and me. And I'm going to tell you about them today. I can't wait to see who is going to introduce themselves to us today, because I don't know yet. It's a surprise even for me. It wasn't until around September 2021 that I realized why I was different from other people and why I could never fit in. I am actually from another planet. My origins are in the Pleiades, which is why I felt misunderstood and different here for so long. Strictly speaking, I still feel like a stranger and just a guest, with the difference that I have reconnected intensively with our planetary soul Gaia. The Great Mother has always given me a home. Every time I have incarnated here, she has been happy to see me again. But she is happy with every returning soul because she has a wonderful big heart. She loves every single soul that visits here as if they were one of her children. On the Pleiades, I am also in a very close contact with our planetary soul. I can even connect directly with the planetary soul of my alien home in the here and now on Earth if I wish. For I have developed a lot of magical abilities that I had previously forgotten I had within me. One of my main abilities is feeling. I feel the beings as if they were standing next to me. They touch me, caress me, pet me, or they pinch me when I don't want to listen. But they are always loving and kind to me. I can feel elves landing on my palm, or fairies doing gymnastics or dancing on my arms. So many magical beings are with me every day, and it fills me with pure humility and gratitude. As I mentioned before, I have written 3 books because my mission is to encourage people who need or want to awaken their abilities. Also to encourage them that the new world we are so excited about is already here. If we just look at it from a different perspective, I am talking about looking with the heart rather than the physical eyes. Through countless trials, I have had to learn to see with my heart, because you cannot see everything with your human eyes. When you open your heart center and have pure intention, doors can open for you that you may not have known you could go through. People are waiting for something to be visible on the outside, for UFOs to land, or for us to suddenly wake up in 5D. But it doesn't work that way, at least not directly. We need very, very many people to start living independently in 5D already, as they should do it from within. I have already described in 3 magical books how it began for me personally to encourage you that the world we long for is already here. In every part of my highly vibrational work, the beings, my friends, present themselves more and more intensively. But I don't channel as a medium. I have visitors, just like when a person comes for tea. Some visits are bizarre from a human perspective, and some are funny. A lot of visits have moved me deeply, and that's what I talk about in my magical books. I tell you what it's like to already live in reality and motivate lightworkers to persevere. Trust and believe that other times are possible, for you can already see many signs on the outside. One of the cosmic laws is, as within, so without. Live it from within, and it is. In my books, I talk a lot about what it's like to live your inner truth. I've linked my written magic books below in the case they speak to you directly. You can find them on Amazon under Bella Isis Mitchell. Take courage, lightworkers, take heart, my life among aliens. I mentioned earlier that I can connect with the souls of different planets. It is a wonderful feeling to feel the individual vibrations, oscillations or sounds of the planetary souls. Yes, I feel sounds too, because they are vibrations as well. It was only through an extraterrestrial friend who introduced himself in the 3rd part of the books I wrote that I was able to hear extraterrestrial sound frequencies for the first time. It was about an enchanted object, and he helped my system to translate those vibrations. That was great. By the way, the legendary being introduced himself in the 3rd part of my books if you want to meet him. I can't reveal any more here. Shh. My friend is connected to me telepathically and smiles kindly and gently. Where does he come from? From Venus, our neighboring planet, and he really does introduce himself personally to each and every reader. I really mean that literally. My books are very, very magical and very high vibrational. When I leaf through my own volumes, a gentle wind blows off the pages. A magical touch of enchantment and a journey into reality. If you would like to accompany me on my journey, I would be happy to take you with me. I will tell you little by little how my magical journey happened and how it still happens, because I experience magic every day. I can already feel a vibration, a frequency, and I'm curious to see who will show up now. Do you feel that vibration? Stay calm and centered. Go into yourself. My heart center anahata is vibrating in circular movements, and my channels on the palms and soles of my feet are opening. Can you feel it? Relax, lean back, close your eyes. Can you feel the vibrating presence? You are safe. My videos are high energy. Only positive energies find their way in and are embedded in this message. It doesn't matter when you listen to it. The energies are connected and unfold each time you listen. By the way, this applies to all my videos. I can't see the beings today, only feel and hear them. We are already talking to each other. There are two beings, a lady and a gentleman. They are extraterrestrials. In this incarnation, I haven't been able to meet them directly and consciously, but we already know each other. They trained me on another planet before I incarnated. They are two of my teachers from a well-known university. The lady trained me in light work. She's a professor, we would say on Earth. Although on other planets people don't raise or lower beings by titles. That is just a third-dimensional phenomenon. On other planets everyone is absolutely aware of their role and everything is in harmony. Everyone knows their place, their position. The professor had just introduced herself as Maya. We can call her that too. I was trained as a Pleiadian at the university on Orion and prepared to serve as a light worker on Earth. Maya trained me very intensively, but also trained countless other light workers who are now incarnated scattered around the world. She taught us how best to prepare ourselves for this mission. With the help of the teacher, the knowledge became so deeply rooted in my soul that I was able to gradually recall memories on Earth of how to do light work correctly. In theory, there is no such thing as wrong if everything is done from the heart and with pure intentions. Anything done in kindness and love cannot be wrong. Anyway, I thank my teacher Maya for introducing herself again, as I had already forgotten her. She has a smile, of course, she knew that. Like all other incarnated souls, I had to go through the river of forgetting. I could no longer remember, but in recent weeks little sparks of flashes of thought kept coming through. And I have been asking for some time to reconnect with my extraterrestrial and galactic teachers. The second being to introduce himself is a man, also a university professor, also from Orion. His voice is masculine, strong, but kind and reassuring. Very pleasant to listen to. The teacher trained me in tidings of human. That's no joke. I have to laugh because I've forgotten it too, and I'm hearing it for the first time. I have been incarnated in other times, but not in such a modern one. When I say modern, it is still ancient from an alien point of view. Not Stone Age anymore, but extremely modern as humans present themselves to the outside world or to the universe. We are not. In any case, the teacher trained us. He was preparing us for the world we were to incarnate into. And yet for years, I was in a real state of shock because I couldn't cope with this world, even though I had been prepared for this mission for a very long time and had internalized a lot. But there is no comparison when you have to go from theory to practice. They are two different shows, and yet the teacher did his part brilliantly. because otherwise it would be even more difficult for beings like me to get a foothold here, because it is so overwhelming for us to be in a human body and literally at the mercy of all these impressions. Some people of extraterrestrial origin have a problem finding their way in and with their human body and existence for most of their lives. That's why you are trained before you come here to do it in the best possible way, for whatever soul task or mission you have set out to do. There are different schools before you come to Earth. Lots of different things, depending on what exactly you have decided to experience, to achieve, whatever your soul path is. I was prepared for my mission on different planets, but not only as a Pleiadian going to universities to learn, but also through different incarnations on different planets. All of this served to prepare me for this mission. This is now my most important personal role, my most important incarnation of my being, and I have been preparing for it for a very long time. I have seen and experienced a lot, and most of my soul experiences have served this mission that I am now carrying out. My personal soul path, my personal soul mission. For example, I was also on Sirius and Arcturus. That memory was just unlocked, and I'm eternally grateful. I was informed that my galactic families would also be reintroduced to me. The families I have been allowed to live with in these incarnations. They are signaling to me that they may introduce themselves again very soon. I am deeply moved. I didn't know anything about this until now. My Syrian family have taught me the art of healing. And with the Arcturians, I was more dedicated to the knowledge of the omnipresent. There I dealt with galactic knowledge. I was probably something of a philosopher. How could I put it better? Perhaps the Arcturians have some advice? Philosopher means friend of wisdom or scholar. On Arcturus, I have been studying wisdom in its infinite form. I feel the smiles of my Arcturian family and friends, because this longing and searching for wisdom is with me in this earthly incarnation, and they tell me with a smile that my presence on their planet at this time is supporting me in this mission, because without this wisdom I wouldn't have been able to crack my memories through the wheel of forgetting so well and so quickly, and I wouldn't have been able to achieve an incredible number of moments of enlightenment so quickly and deeply. My deep connection to books and wisdom comes from my extraterrestrial connection to Arcturus. So you can see that even on other planets you can acquire knowledge that will benefit you in this incarnation. Who knows what preferences you have brought with you from other planets? Think about it. It is magical and fabulous how divine and magical everything works together. Everything is harmonious when you put the pieces of the picture together. Often it is not until the end that you see the whole picture, because of all the experiences my soul has already had. My galactic companions and I planned my current incarnation. At that time, I volunteered for this task when the High Council of Light called upon many wise, bright and courageous souls in a perfectly planned scenario to free the earth from the veins of darkness and to lead it into the divine order. into the divine plan, into a bright golden future. Everything was perfectly planned, and an extremely large number of souls answered the call. I applied for this job that I'm doing now. It's not a joke, because my incarnations on this planet would have already been completed. I didn't have to come back, and yet it was already planned. I'm used to things that look or seem opposite, but fit together perfectly. This realization also runs through the magical books I have written. All my incarnations have been for the benefit of being here now in the present and in service to the greater whole. That is the magical side of this incarnation. The other side is the typical earthly side. Because I am being asked to come out of myself even more and to achieve even more soul growth for myself personally, but also to bring about healing for the ancestors. I have personally chosen to burden myself with a great amount of human issues in order to have to solve them here, but at the same time to free my ancestors from the constant cycle of incarnation and to achieve holistic healing. I was able to partially understand and decipher why I chose so many and sometimes very complicated issues. As a result, a lot of things were resolved, but I still believe that my higher self made too many plans for this incarnation in order to grow, especially in interpersonal relationships of any kind. But that's another topic. In my videos I don't talk about 3D stuff. I talk about real life experiences, for I already live in reality. Every day I receive visits from galactic or magical entities right in my home on Earth. The extraterrestrials are already with us and among us. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to all the extraterrestrial beings who reminded me today of truly galactic details that I had forgotten in between. Thank you, I am moved to the core. Thank you. I'm sitting on the couch editing my video and suddenly something happens. A rat just jumped on my head. It just jumped from the back of the couch onto my head and it is still there. A new spirit animal has appeared. In one of my new books, I will introduce you to a very special shaman, an extraterrestrial friend of mine. Like me, he likes spirit animals. Let's call it that way. I'm not allowed to tell you anything about it yet, because it will only be revealed in the book. Anyway, I can partly sense and partly see spirit animals. The rat is sitting on my head. It is sitting on its back paws. Its upper body is upright. The wonderful being sits up on his hind legs. Oh, the spirit animal is cleaning its front paws. In between, the rat sniffs the air curiously. It is fitting that it has come to me now, after I have briefly dealt with my earthly problems. I know why it has come to me, and I thank for its presence. It is very alert, so am I. The rat reminds me of my life as a lone fighter or loner, which I have consciously chosen, and it tells me to be true to myself and to persevere. Rats do live in communities and are even very social connected, but each rat is an individual and follows its own special unique path. It shows us that there is no need to worry or to be afraid, because the rat will always find a loophole. There is always a way out of the dark alley. With that in mind, and with lots of love and courage in my heart, I bid you farewell, yours Bella Isis.